In this video, I'm gonna share with you how it is that you can use the YFinance library from Python to extract all kinds of valuable information from Yahoo Finance about stocks, ETFs, cryptocurrencies, etc. and then use that data into your Python environment so you can do all kinds of analysis. And as a bonus, I'm gonna show you how you can extract that data from Python, put it into an Excel spreadsheet, and then be able to do more analysis there. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to install the YFinance library. Now, this depends on the coding environment that you have. In my opinion, PyCharm is the best coding environment for Python that I have found, but you can use any of the other distributions out there. If you're on the console as well, you can just type pip install YFinance, and if I click enter, it will automatically run the installation for me. Now, if you're using PyCharm, there's even a better way, which is you go right here, click on settings, and then you select project interpreter, click on the plus button right here, and then you can just simply search for the YFinance library, which is right here. You can see that I already have this installed, but if I didn't, I would just click on install package, and then that's it. Now, once you have the YFinance installed, it's time to start requesting some data from Yahoo Finance. So the first thing that you need to do, like any library, is to import it. So in this case, we're gonna do import, and then we're gonna enter YFinance as YF. You can see the cool thing about this code editor is that it automatically completes a lot of the code for you. And then the other library that we're gonna be using along is pandas. You can do the same thing for the installation, pip install pandas, and then we're gonna import pandas as PD. That way we could access this library later. And the first thing that we have to do is to create an object for the specific company or ticker that we want to analyze. Now, on Yahoo Finance, there's all kinds of tickers. We're gonna start first with stocks, but the same process applies to cryptocurrencies and other kinds of financial assets like ETFs. So in this case, let's say that we want to access data for Microsoft. We can just use the ticker name, or we can just name it whatever we want. Then after that, we type equals, and then here we're gonna do equals YF. Here we're going to access the ticker object, and then what I'm gonna do is type in the ticker. So you can see the autocomplete is really powerful. So if I just click on tab, this is going to allow me to access all the information related to Microsoft stock. With this setup, we can start getting the data and then slicing and dicing that particular data set. So first, let's start with something very simple, which is to get the financials of the company. So in this case, we could just say print, so that way we could see it, but we could also save this information in another variable. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do MSFT. And then here's a whole bunch of the information that you can get. This is why I like PyCharm, because it shows you all of the different contents of the library. But in this case, we're gonna start with something very simple, which is the financials. So I type print Microsoft financials, and then I'm just gonna click on run this code. And as you can see, this is very cool because now we can start to see some of the data right here. So this again all comes from Yahoo Finance, and you can see all of the different line items of the company, as well as the results. Now, this is not showing all the different years, but you can get a pretty good idea of this information, and we can start to apply some calculations to this data if we wanted to. Now, let's say that we don't want to get all of the company's financials at once because it is a lot of information. Let's say that we only want to get the income statement or the balance sheet. So again, we're going to do print, and then we're going to apply the same thing, Microsoft dot, and in this case, we're going to get the balance sheet. So if I enter this information, I'm going to comment this out right here, so this part of the code doesn't run, and then I can just simply click on this button. And as you can see now, instead of getting all of the financial information, now I'm only getting the balance sheet. This same concept applies over and over and over to any kind of other information. So in this case, let's say that we want to get the income statement or the info, we can just do this same thing here. We're going to comment this out. I'm gonna run this code, and as you can see, I'm gonna get all the information that Yahoo Finance has on this particular stock. Now I'm gonna show you how to get the price data of a particular security. In this case, I'm gonna show you how to do it with Bitcoin, but this again applies to any stock, ETF, etc. So in this case, what we're gonna do is the same concept. So we're gonna do equals BTC. We can again change the name to whatever we want. In this case, YF.ticker, and then here the ticker has to be the same as what is in Yahoo Finance. So if we go to the Yahoo Finance website, you can see this is right here. The ticker is this one right here. So BTC-USD. So this is the ticker that we need to use. Now we need autocomplete. It didn't have this information, so now we just need to add it right here. And again, this is gonna allow us to access all the information that we had access to before. In this case, we're looking for the stock price. So in order to do that, we're gonna do print, and then we're gonna do btc.info, and this is gonna give us all the information that you can see right here. And you can see that this is in a dictionary. So because of that, we can easily access the specific attributes that we want to access. And there's a lot of information right here, so it's very difficult to consume. But if you want to get the stock price, you just do regular market price as shown right here, and this is only going to return the stock price or the price of Bitcoin at this particular moment in time. So I'm just gonna run this code right here. Maybe I'm just gonna comment this out so that way we don't have any distractions. Click on run, and as you can see, this is gonna give us the stock price. We can also format it any way that you want, but as you can see, the cool thing is that this number is exactly the same as what is shown on the website. Now maybe I just need to refresh it to get the latest number, but you get the idea. Now I'm gonna show you how it is that you can plot this information, so that way you can visualize the information, and then we're gonna get into the Excel part, which I think is gonna be very exciting. So first things first, we need to get a list of tickers. So in order to get the list, we're gonna create a variable called data, and this is where we're gonna store our list of tickers that we're going to analyze. So in this case, we're gonna do equals YF again, and then here there's a little difference, and that is that we're gonna use this download attribute right here. This is gonna give us the information that we need. So I'm gonna click right here, and then you need to enter the ticker. So here we can just enter a list of different tickers that we want to analyze. So let's say we want to analyze Microsoft, we want Tesla, and we also want Apple. So in this case, I have my list of tickers, and then it's gonna ask me for a start date in order to get the data. So start is gonna be here. Well, we just auto-completed the information, but you can see an example here. Let's say that we want to do it for the last 3 years. So we're going to do 2022, and then we're going to enter 2025 as the end date, and we're going to do 0101, so that way everything is equalized. And now we have the data that we can then use to plot. Now we need to indicate what kind of data we want to access for these different companies, because on Yahoo Finance there's the open, there's the high, there's the low, the close, adjusted close, there's a whole bunch of information. So we can specify what information we want to get. So in this case, we're going to enter again data, and then we're going to enter the specific information that we want to get. So let's say that we want to get the close for all these companies, and then we're gonna do that plot, and then here we're going to enter the specific title that we want to use. So title is going to be equal to, in this case, we could say close prices if we really wanted to, or we can change the title to close prices. Let's say we say big 3. Then after we have this information, we just need to do plt.show in order to be able to display the data. And now we can just simply click on run the code right here. And as you can see, now we have our chart that we can use to visualize the information right here. We can zoom in, we can zoom out, etc. And that way we can easily visualize the information for the stocks that we selected. Now let's talk about how you can take this information and put it into an Excel spreadsheet where you can do all kinds of calculations, automations, etc. So in this case, we're going to go back to the fundamentals, which is what we had before. Microsoft equals yf.ticker.microsoft. And in this case, we are interested in, let's say, the balance sheet, but this can apply to to any kind of data set that we mentioned that is available. So let's say MSFT, and then we're going to say balance, and this would be the balance sheet. So here we're going to enter exactly what is suggested, Microsoft.balance sheet. If you remember, we printed that and that provided us with the balance sheet. Now, once we have this, we can simply do this right here, Microsoft balance, and then we're going to do to Excel. So this comes built in from the pandas library, and as you can see, this allows us to take the balance sheet data, and then here we can start to label what we want the file to be named as. So in this case, Microsoft balance, that sounds pretty good. We can also change the name. So let's say Microsoft balance sheet. This is the name that we want to do. We're going to click on run, and what this is going to do is on the same directory where you have this Python file saved, that is where the file is going to be saved unless you change the directory to another file path. So for example, if I open my folders right here, you will see that before I didn't have anything but basically this script right here, but now I have the Microsoft balance sheet. So I can just click on open this, and as you can see, this is the file that was generated by our Python script, in which we can see the different line items of the balance sheet as well as the dates and the various numbers. So once we have this set up, we can on Excel save this and apply all kinds of like conditional formatting, calculations, etc. The one thing and the one downside is that, as you saw, the formatting is not the best when you export it, but you can apply different programmatic settings to be able to get this formatting better. Now I'm going to show you how to do something very similar, and this is going to be for the dividends. So for that, all we need to do is select the company. So in this case, we'll do Apple, and then we're going to say, yeah, we're going to enter this information right here, and we're going to say the same thing. So APL, and then we're going to say dividends or div, and that is going to be equal to Apple. And then in this case, we're going to get the dividends for the company. And then after that, we can just say AAPL div. And here we're not going to plot it, even though that is something that we can do, is we're going to enter to Excel, and then we're going to do AAPL/dividends.xls. We can run this code, and I'm just going to comment this part out so that way it doesn't create additional noise. We can run the code. Now, when you run the code, you're going to see this error, and I wanted to highlight this part because back in the day, you could just apply this and get the dividends right on your spreadsheet, but this is no longer the case. So this is where you need to apply a little adjustment to the code to be able to deal with this. And this is the fact that Excel does not support date times with different time zones. Now, there's probably some complicated stuff on the back end that is making this happen, but the way to fix it is very simple. You just need to enter this line of code where you reference this object right here. You say .index, and then for this index, you're going to localize the dates that are included in the output. And then once that's done, you can just simply proceed by converting this into an Excel file. So now we click enter, there's no error, and then guess what? If I look at my project, now I have this AAPL dividends, which if I open, I'm going to get the result like this. So you can see this is the specific date. And again, we could do a whole bunch of modifications to switch the order and whatnot, and you're going to be able to see the dividends for this specific stock. Now, the issue with using a library like YFinance is that first, there's a restriction in terms of how much data you can obtain at any one time from Yahoo Finance, and this is because in many cases it can be illegally to get this data because you're essentially scraping their site and then being able to retrieve the data. But the main thing is that it's quite complicated. You really need to understand this library, how it works, how Python works, how you can modify this data to do your specific analysis. And for this, I wanted to share an alternative that works natively into Excel and Google Sheets and allows you to build some very powerful models. So let's say we want to go back to the example of getting the company's financials. You can simply type the company right here. Let's say we want quarterly, click on get data, data, and as you can see right away, you're gonna get all the information and it's gonna be perfectly formatted for you. You can see that there's the income, there's the balance sheet, cash flow statement. We have a whole bunch of key metrics that you can explore, and all this information goes all the way back to 2005 and beyond. And the most important thing is that, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to get all this information at once, but what happens if they want to just take this information right here and they want to compare a whole bunch of companies all at once? So let's say these are the metrics that we want to compare. These are the companies that we want to analyze. And what we could do is just apply these formulas right here, which you can see how they kind of work right here. So if you wanted to get the revenue for Apple in 2021, you could just copy this, paste it, and then you're going to be able to retrieve the data automatically. You can change the metric, but in this case, what we want to do is get the information for this company. So we're going to get this formula right here. We're going to enter the list of symbols, enter all of the metrics that we're looking to get, enter the period, which could be the last year, a specific year like 2021, or in this case, what is better to compare companies is to do TTM. Once I click on that, then as you can see, I'm going to be able to get all of this data automatically on my spreadsheet. And this allows you to build some really powerful models. So if I click right here on templates, you can see some of the templates that we have that are available for free. And they're extremely powerful because once you set them up once, you change the company ticker, and that's all you need to do. So for example, let's say that you have this template that you build using our functions and then also the native Excel functionality. Once you have this set up, you can just simply change the company ticker, and then boom, as you can see, all of the information will automatically update for you. You can change the years, you can change anything that you want, and you can see everything is super fast, super dynamic. And just like Yahoo Finance, we follow the same ticker system. So let's say that you want to access companies for the Toronto Stock Exchange, you can just enter a company that has this attribute and you're going to be able to get the data. So this allows you to build all kinds of really powerful models. And even better, something that YFinance cannot do is you can go on the screener right here, and we have a library of over 80,000 stocks worldwide, and you can slice and dice that data any way that you want. So for example, let's say that you're interested in companies in the technology sector right here, and companies that have a market cap greater than 100 million, and let's say that you're interested in an ROIC greater than 0.5% and a PE less than 20, current ratio, let's say between, I'm just making these numbers up, but let's say like 0 to like 3, for example. You simply click on get data, and out of the entire database of 80,000 plus companies, you're only going to be able to see companies that meet your specific criteria. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of companies that meet this criteria. You can see all this information, and then with the functions, you can add additional columns and information to be able to find great investment opportunities faster. Now, in order to do this, the add-on that is required is called Wisesheets, and this is an add-on that works on Excel and Google Sheets. So go ahead and check it out. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.